All right, let's talk about a car that just absolutely refuses to be put in a box. I mean, think about it. A show car, a track weapon, a drift missile, and a drag strip monster, all rolled into one German chassis, but with a very, very American heart.
So, this really gets to the ultimate question for any car builder, right? I mean, can you really build one single car that's a master of everything? Not just okay at it, but like excels at lapping, drifting, and drag racing. Or are you always just making compromises? Well, this one builder from Quebec, he decided to find out for himself.
And this is his answer. It might look like a 2005 BMW, but trust me, it's not like any you've ever seen. This thing is the passion project of a guy named Jonathan St Pierre, and honestly, it's a masterclass in how far you can push a car in, well, pretty much every direction imaginable. Okay, so it's really important to get what the goal was here. We're not just talking about making a car fast. No, no, no. This is about engineering a car to be so versatile that it can dominate three totally different types of racing and still be so clean and well-built that it can win trophies at a car show. I mean, that's a monumental challenge. And look, to really get a build this ambitious, you've got to understand the builder. For Jonathan, this wasn't just some random project he cooked up. Nope. This was the result of a dream he's had his whole life. And this quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? It gets right to the heart of it. It's that passion that starts when you're a kid, that feeling of not just wanting a cool car, but wanting to build it with your own two hands, being in charge of the full project. You know, that's the energy that's fueling this whole thing. So the big question is, why a BMW? Well, for Jonathan, living out that childhood dream also meant taking on something totally new. He'd never actually worked on a European car before, and the E46 chassis, it was the perfect pick. It's famous for its amazing handling, which makes it a killer base for track or drift car. But what he did next, oh man, that's where the story really takes a turn. See, to pull off this 3-in-1 dream, that stock German engine, as good as it just wasn't going to cut it. Not for what he had in mind. He needed reliable, absolutely monstrous power. He needed an American heart transplant. You guessed it, he went for the legendary LS-Swap. Now, if you know, you know. This is the go-to move for making big, reliable power. And the reason's pretty simple, right? LS engines are compact, they're tough as nails, and the aftermarket support is just endless. It's honestly one of the best ways to make crazy horsepower without breaking the bank. It's the perfect mix. Nimble German chassis meets raw American muscle. And of course, he didn't just drop in a stock motor. Oh no, this is an LS3 that's been stroked out to a massive 6.8 liters. So what that means is they basically modified the guts of the engine to make it bigger on the inside. Bigger displacement equals more power. And more importantly, some serious, serious torque. And check this out, the way it makes power is what makes it so dang versatile. Just on the motor, it's putting down a wild 625 horsepower. That's more than enough for lapping and drifting. But then you flip a switch, the nitrous kicks in, and bam, that number jumps to an insane 825 horsepower. That's supercar power right there on tap, ready for the drag strip. And here's just a little peek at the parts that make all that power possible. The engine is fully forged, which is just a way of saying all the important bits on the inside. Pistons, rods, all that stuff are super strong, built to handle all that stress. You throw in a big cam, a better intake, a smart computer to run it all, and yeah, you've got the recipe for a monster that won't blow itself up. But look, 825 horsepower is totally useless if the rest of the car just falls apart, right? So let's get into the other parts. The stuff that actually lets this BMW put all that power to the ground for 3 different kinds of racing. And really, that's the theme of this whole car. Jonathan makes it clear. Almost everything is custom. It's one of a kind. He wasn't just grabbing parts off a shelf and bolting them on. He was engineering solutions from scratch to make his crazy vision a reality. So how do you make one car handle 3 different things? Well, the chassis has to be smart. He hardened the subframes and used urethane bushings to get rid of any slop, making the whole thing super stiff and responsive. The adjustable coilovers are absolutely key here. They let him set it up super stiff for a track day, then completely change it for a drift event. Even the transmission is a custom-built ZF 5-speed, beefed up to handle all that V8 torque. And when you're going this fast, you've got to be able to stop, right? So for brakes, Jonathan went with 4-piston calipers from a Porsche 996. It's a super popular upgrade because they just work.
They give you incredible track-tested stopping power. And to get all 825 horses to the pavement, you need some serious rubber. We're talking a massive 315-width tire in the back, wrapped around those beautiful, iconic Werkmeister wheels. And here's where that show car quality really shines. That insane Pandem Widebody kit? I mean, yeah, you need it to fit those giant wheels, but it also gives the car this incredible, aggressive look. And all the carbon fiber, the hood, the trunk, the entire custom interior, it's not just for show. Sure, it looks amazing, but it's all about shedding weight while still looking absolutely killer. So you see all that, right? The massive engine, the custom suspension, all that carbon fiber. You'd think, okay, this car's got to be done, right? Well, not if you ask Jonathan. In his mind, he's not even close. I mean, it's that classic builder mindset, isn't it? A project car is never really finished. There's always something else you can do, another level you can take it to. And believe me, Jonathan's next ideas, they are on another planet. Yeah, 50%. That's the number he throws out. He considers this absolutely insane 825 horsepower machine to be only halfway done. Just let that sink in for a second. What we're looking at right now is only half of what he actually wants to build. So what on earth does the other 50% look like? Well, for starters, twin turbos, on top of that massive 6.8-liter V8. We're talking way, way over 1,000 horsepower. Then a full tube chassis, basically throwing out the factory frame and building a custom, super light, super rigid race car frame from scratch. And of course, even more carbon fiber. The chase for more performance, it just never ever stops. You know, Jonathan St Pierre's BMW is so much more than just a car. It's proof of what can happen when you have a singular vision and you just refuse to give up. It shows that maybe with enough passion and skill, you don't have to choose. You really can build a car that does it all. And that kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it? What does your ultimate 100% dream build look like?